to go through to OneStream, and OneStream will pick up the stream that we have today and then go live on Amazon Live. I'm just waiting to get the green light from Amazon Live, and we'll be good to go. And Chris is saying thank you, and you're most welcome, Chris. That was from a previous broadcast earlier today. Still waiting, and we're now live, so I'm going to go preview there and go live. Getting ready to go live. I think they've changed it again. We are live on Amazon Live. Just let me check that, and then we are good to go. So it looks like I'm live. I'm a bit dubious because things have changed on the app, but let's take this off full screen and you can see me. So welcome to this broadcast on Amazon Live, and I'm just waiting patiently because things have changed. Yep, we are live on Amazon Live. Okay, so I can close that tab because I don't want to watch myself whilst I'm broadcasting. So we're back to me, and welcome. We're live. Okay, now, little secret. I'm actually live today using XSplit Webcam for the first time in a while, and I've got the backdrop behind me. If we go over here, you can see this is what I look like normally, and this is what I look like with a backdrop. Okay, now the sign of a good backdrop is that you don't get delineation anywhere, and you can see 10 fingers. So, but we'll explore that during the course of this broadcast. I'm going to take myself off full screen and explain what's behind me. First of all, welcome to the show. And this is Lights, Camera, Action with Stephen Healy, live from Wiltshire in England. I'm just going to give you a quick tour of Wiltshire. Okay, so welcome to the show. This is our local woods, and I don't know what order these photographs are in, but this is where I live. This divides us in Wiltshire, and I live close to this place. We manage to visit 4 or 5 times a year. This is Stonehenge, and next photograph is we've got parks and gardens galore, and this is Ilworth Park, which is about 10 minutes walk from where we live, and we're able to go out there and enjoy the sunshine. Though today when we went for our walk, it was a little bit cold. And this is our main shopping street. The Devizes is a town of 23,000 people, and this is the main shopping street on a very quiet day. And over to another streets close to the church. This is one of the oldest streets in the town. It has blue plaques on it. It's got buildings that have got preservation orders on them. And the next photograph is of St. James, the church in Devizes, and that's followed by this is the Crammer, which is a man-made pond, and I'm grateful to Google Photos for actually stitching 3 images together to actually give this photo. And coming up, there's the town on a bank holiday weekend, which is next Monday, and there are local gardens that we can visit. That's the Courts Garden in Wiltshire. And back to, we do get snow occasionally, not today though. And back to the beginning, and we have carnivals which go through town. And this is the Devizes Carnival, which will take place this year, which is good. And back to the walk in the woods. Okay, so that's a little bit about where I live, and you've seen the woods, you've seen the castle. Well, you've not seen the castle, you might see the castle later. Just a word of explanation, I am actually broadcasting using background removal software, and this is what I normally look like with the green screen. If you're watching on Amazon Live, I'd like to say thank you and welcome to this live broadcast. And let's do the introductions. So welcome to the broadcast. This is Lights, Camera, Action with Stephen Healy from, well, this will tell you where I'm from. You're watching Stephen live from Wiltshire in England, and thank you for doing so. Now, over the course of this broadcast, I'm looking at everything in relation to live broadcasting. I've been doing this for the last 6 years, and you're more than welcome to say hello, ask questions, and I will do my best to answer them. If I know the answer, I will tell you. If I don't, I'll go and find out. Okay, but this is a free resource for you. Amazon Live is independent broadcasters. We don't work for Amazon. We're from around the globe. There are 4 of us in England, and the broadcasters from Portugal and South Africa. I count amongst my friends Marco Nova in Portugal, Brigitte Limbanda in South Africa, in Cape Town. And we're just so grateful to actually be broadcasting on Amazon Live. Okay, now the first thing I want to talk about today is something that you don't often see, and that's this. Okay, I do a lot of desktop broadcasts, but my hobby is to go broadcasting using a gimbal, and the gimbal we'll see shortly. I thought I'd start off with this, which is the PowerDeWise lapel microphone. Now, when you're going out and about, and we'll get to this later, but when you're going out and about, you're shooting mobile video, yeah, you have a gimbal, and this gimbal is in the carousel. This is the Hoem iSteady gimbal, and you put the gimbal together with your mobile phone. Okay, take the case of it, phone goes in the clamp, and then you've got the question of sound. Okay, now if you quite simply use the microphone that's in your mobile camera, then you're not getting the best quality sound. The microphone is good, but if you want to have high quality sound, what you actually need is an external microphone, and that would be a lapel microphone. And I chose this one. This is the one I use on my live broadcasts, and it is very high quality and great sound, as you'll hear later on in this broadcast. Now, as far as he said putting things down, as far as the unit itself is concerned, it has a carrying case, okay, and that can go into my rucksack, and along with the home gimbal, and I'm ready to shoot wherever I go. And then there's some wording on the back which says words can change lives, record them perfectly. And that's what this does. The sound is so high quality. In addition to going live when I can, I actually do courses on Udemy, and Udemy courses, or Udemy in particular, have very strict quality control. And obviously an external camera like the Brio that I'm using at the moment means that the video is good. But how do you get to the stage where the audio is good without spending too much money? Now, this microphone down the carousel at the moment is 41% off. It's normally $35.45. Well, it is $35.45 today. It's normally $59.99. And with this microphone, you can record. You can plug it into your PC, okay, which is what I did to do the Udemy courses. I had to have good quality sound for Udemy, and this provided it. And basically, you've got the microphone there with its hood on, and that clips onto, just a minute, that clips onto your clothing. Okay, and there you have it. That's step one. Okay, so the microphone clips onto your clothing. And the thing about this is that in terms of sort of the sound, you're actually acting as a human sound studio, because a lot of the surrounding sound is absorbed by your body, which means that the first voice that's actually heard is your voice. The first sound is you. It's not everybody else. Now, in terms of operation, you clip it on, as I just did then. And the second thing you do, with it found the right way around, is just plug it in to the socket. That's it. that simple action has cut out the internal microphone on your mobile phone, be it an Android phone or an iOS phone, and replaced it with the one that's there. Okay, now this gives a better quality of sound on all the mobile recordings that you do. Yeah, it's a difference. It's difference between amateur and professional. Okay, now on today's phones, there are microphones which are good, but nothing as good as the one that's down the carousel at the moment. And if you're shooting live video and you want to show it on YouTube, then basically what you do want is to have high quality sound. We know that if my sound was off today, you would go and do something else. That's human nature. We'll put up with a fuzzy picture, but bad sound drives people away. And bad sound on video, recorded video, is a problem. Now, Angelica and I go out and about, and we go to Stonehenge, we go to Salisbury Cathedral, we go to Portsmouth Docks, and I take this phone with me. And because I've got this microphone, at the end of the recording, I can upload it to YouTube. And that's basically the second reason for doing it. One reason for shooting mobile video is for our own personal use, personal memories. And the second is to introduce people to somewhere they might not visit. Now, I've got videos about Stonehenge, as I say, about Courts Garden, about Salisbury, about Avebury, all the places in Wiltshire where I live, which you saw earlier, are recorded on video. Videos are on YouTube, and people can watch them anytime, and they do. They search for Stonehenge and they find my Stonehenge video and they watch it. And the same is true of the Avebury and even the Devizes video. I live in a town called Devizes, which I've just shown you, and the Devizes video, because we've got a castle. Devizes has a castle, dates from about the 11th century originally, but you can't visit it at the moment. It's actually private property. It's been turned into apartments, but it is there. You can see the exterior walls, etc. Okay, so the microphone that's down in the carousel, which is this microphone, is the one that I use on all my recordings, and I'll play one for you during the course of this broadcast. It is high quality if you're thinking about two things. One, doing mobile video. Two, a low-cost external microphone that you can plug into your PC or Mac. Then the one that's down in the carousel at the moment is the one that I would most definitely recommend. Okay. Now, thank you for watching me on Amazon Live today. I do appreciate it. I appreciate you spending your time with me. If you've any questions at all, or you just want to say hello, then please do comment. Okay, this is a free resource for you whilst you're surfing Amazon.com. You can listen to all the broadcasters. Now, up above me, you'll see a browse button. And that means you can browse all the shows that are live now. Not now, though. Stay here. And you can follow people. Now, following is a benefit. Okay, not just to me, but to you as well. Because if you press the follow button, then what will happen is that you'll possibly get notified of my future broadcasts. And in addition to that, you'll be able to go to the following tab, which is up above, and you can watch my live shows and my replays. Okay. And then the final tab up above, if you're actually on the Amazon Live site, is categories. And the category you want to look at is streaming soon, which is about halfway down. Streaming soon. Click that button, and that's your Amazon Live TV guide. That will show you all the shows that are going to be on today. The show cards tell you about the presenter, they tell you about the content, and they tell you the time. So in chronological order, you've got, if you press the button up above, discover, and then following, then you'll find all the information that you need. Okay, so that's a bit about Amazon. Okay, now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is, well, if I go off here for a moment, and I go over here, yeah, So we're back. Is this down in the carousel? I was watching a show 4 weeks ago by my good friend Marco Novo, who's based in Portugal, and he was chatting with Daniel Zigman of Logitech. Now, we all know about Logitech cameras. We know about 920, 922, 925, 930, and the Brio, which I'll show you soon, and the 270, which I don't have, so I can't show you. But Logitech have released their first ever lighting. Now, it is for gamers, but it is also for all broadcasters. And it's called the Logitech Litra Light. And you can see Daniel holding one of those lights in the image there during his live broadcast with Marco Novo. Now, I watched that broadcast on replay. And I saw Daniel with the light. And I thought, that is, I'm just getting it. Okay, back now. That is an amazing light. Okay, that's where I saw it. I went to read the reviews by clicking the link. I read the reviews of the Litra light, and I bought one. And this is it. This is the one that's down in the carousel, Logitech Litra light, $59.99. And when you first receive it, you have cellophane over the back there, and you've got cellophane at the bottom there. Okay, take those off and recycle them. Okay, now the light itself, first of all, you can angle the light forward. Okay, is it a bit dark in here? Is it just me? Let's have a bit of light on things, shall we? Okay, I've just switched my Logitech Litra light on. It's basically, I've got two. Okay, but my Litra light is on the BenQ monitor above me and is now lighting me. Okay, so this is the light's here, but you're actually seeing the light in operation because I've just switched it on. So you can bend it forward, you can straighten it up again, you can twist it to the left and to the right. In other words, you can angle this light whichever way you wish. Okay, also, as you've probably noticed, you can extend it. Yeah, now my light is up above my monitor, and it is like so. So that's what I'm being lit by at the moment, is one of these. It's on the back of my monitor, and you achieve that by lifting the shelf. Yeah, so that's the shelf that it goes on, and that just hooks on the back of your monitor. Okay, and that basically is the setup. The only thing you need to do, he said, is take the cable, and the cable is supplied with the light. Okay, and I'll show you the boxing in a moment, but that's it. This light is now ready to use. I've used the cable supplied by Logitech, and all I need to do on the back of the light is the on-off button, and if I press the on-off button, then the light comes on and I have extra lighting. Now, the thing you'll notice about this is that this light is not a blaring light. It's not a glaring light. It's not intrusive. This light has been designed for use 24 hours a day. You can use this light any time of day or night to actually light up your set. Now, it's the only light you need. I used to have two softboxes, two great big softboxes, one either side of me. Light went onto the wall and was reflected back, and that worked well. But the softboxes, after 3 years, were starting to show some wear and tear, so they had to go. So I was sat there without lights for 3 weeks. And that's how Daniel Zigman with Marco, and I saw this light and I thought, that is the light for me. So I bought it. And I'm not alone, because my good friend, if I go here, my good friend Jim Ziegler, who's in Texas, also bought one of these lights. Yeah, switched off again. Press the off button. Okay, and it's now switched itself off. But the thing I love about this is basically it goes on your monitor, or You can take off the light section, just twist it, pull, and then you can attach it to a tripod. Now, if you attach the lighting to a tripod, he said, having a tripod working, you can then position the light anywhere on your desking. Okay. Which means that it's versatile, flexible, powerful enough. Yeah, I love the light, has to be said. Now, the thing about the light is that we've got the controls on the back, and we've got the power on, power off, we've got the brightness, we've got the temperature. Now, if I had to reach up to adjust those, then that wouldn't be good. So Logitech have produced with their list light a piece of software which I'm going to show you now. So I'm going to go and share my screen. Okay, and hopefully this will work. Okay, I've got it. Okay, and I'm going to bring the software into my studio. Okay, this is the Logitech Litra Lite software. Now, it's part of Logitech G Hub, which is the gamer's software, but it can now control this light. And if I put my light down, okay, and come back to, I hope you didn't hear that, something crashed. I'm going to go here, back to me. I'm going to hide that, hide that, hide that. And if I've done this right, then I haven't done it right. I'm going to hide Jim. I'm going to hide that video. Okay, so now we've got the software next to me. Okay, now what we're going to do is basically you put the light, plug it into your PC or Mac, and it will work. But there are 6 presets that you can actually use, created by Logitech, to actually change your lighting. And I'm going to go through those by actually using the software. And we're going to start with the first lighting, which is this bright, cool blue. Now, you can adjust the temperature, you can adjust the brightness. Second one is, okay, now some of these changes are subtle, some of them are drastic. The subtle ones you may not notice. But the point I'm making here is that you have 6 different presets that you can control. From the software, you can switch the light off, I've gone dark, and on, I've gone back light. And you can check any of the presets that have been created. This is one of my favorites. Okay, because you tend to find, I mean, this is all about being comfortable on camera. And what you want to do is to find the lighting which is best for you, in which you feel comfortable. Okay. Now, in terms of feeling comfortable on camera, make sure you're in the middle. Never have yourself off to one side. That's distracting. Make sure you've got headroom at the top. Okay. And make sure your lighting is right. Okay. Just a note, if I switch the light off, you'll notice that you can still see me, but it's a lot darker. Lighting makes all the difference when you're broadcasting. And when I say broadcasting, I'm including in this Zoom. Okay. Getting your lighting on Zoom, you'd stand out. Okay. Because I've been part of and watched many Zoom calls where people just do not get it right. Lighting is an important part of being on a Zoom call. Now, the next preset is this one, Cozy Candlelight. I quite like that one too. Okay, so that's pretty good too. Then the next one, Logitech are not responsible for, because you can design your own preset, which is what I did. Now, this preset is too light. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the way that this light is working. The brightness is full, so I'm going to turn down the brightness. Yeah, that's better. And I'm going to change the temperature until I get to something which I'm happy with. Okay, so I can move the 2 sliders to actually get near perfect lighting. Okay, so that is this the Logitech Litra light. Now, this is the first light that Logitech have ever produced. They're well known for their cameras and the build quality of their cameras. This is an excellent build quality, simple design, easy to use, plug and play, works out the box. Software allows you to control it, 6 presets, and you can set your own as well. It's lighting me now. It's doing a good job. And I think for a first light, this is an excellent first light for anybody. If you're on Zoom, if you're on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, or Twitch, then this light will light you perfectly 24, as I said earlier, 24 hours a day. Now, when I'm doing these live broadcasts, I know, because I don't work with a script, as you probably noticed by now, I don't have a script. Basically, I have beside me, if I can find it, an agenda, and you'll be looking at Logitech Litra Glow light. Okay, its official title is Logitech Litra Glow Premium LED streaming light. I'm just going to change something so that we get that. Okay, text was too big. It has true soft lighting. This is not, I mean, when I had the soft boxes, you either switch them on and switch them off. That's the only control you've got. With this, you've got 6 presets, and you can add your own. And it is true soft lighting. Okay, so on to the next one. And the next one, it's got just one mount. We talked about taking this off and putting it onto a tripod, which we can do. And then the next piece of information, brightness and color temperature settings. We've been through all those. And desktop control. I've shown you the software. Basically, go to logitech.com, or you can actually scan the barcode on the box. Go to logitech.com, download the software, install it. It will see your light. And as soon as it sees your light, you have full control using the software. Okay, and I'm doing well. Natural skin tones. Okay, so it's not over the top. You're not bright red and you're not white. Okay, you've got natural skin tones. It is, as I just want to emphasize this, it is safe for all day streaming. So if you're a gamer, then this light most certainly you should look at it. Click the link in the carousel, you find out more information. It's got freedom of light placement either on your monitor or on, this is what fell on the floor earlier, either on a tripod. Okay, so either on this stand or on a tripod. Okay, now you only need to light yourself, you only need one of these lights. The reason that I have 2 is so that I can actually show you one. Okay, because I can't, you're actually seeing it working, you're actually seeing the light itself. Okay, and it is solid construction. Lift the shelf, goes over the back of your monitor. It's very secure. You can bend it forward. Okay, mine is like that. Okay, the one that's lighting me at the moment is angled like that. If I want to turn it sideways, I can turn it sideways, both ways. So you've got freedom movement. Back up again and straight, and you can extend it, or you can put it down. Mine is like that. Okay, and it's lighting me perfectly during this live broadcast. Okay, so that's the Logitech Litra light, $59.99, and it's replaced my soft boxes. It gives me the light I want without being in my face. It's not obtrusive. I can look at it and I don't get dazzled by it, basically what I'm saying. And with the color the temperature controls and the brightness controls, you can set it. Okay, and you can change the lighting to change your mood. Okay, so I'm going to put that down. Okay, so that was down in the carousel, $59.99 Logitech's, or sorry, something I didn't forget, but I've forgotten to read out. You can use Logitech's free G-Hub desktop app. Okay, so that's good. So that's all the Logitech things. Now, just as a note, I can change, because the thing I love about the software that I'm using today is that I can very quickly change my background. Okay, change the mood of the show. And you notice I'm using background removal software. I've got 10 fingers. And the reason I've got 10 fingers, okay, all background software removal is not equal. Okay, if I scroll along in the carousel now, I'm going to go to something which I feel is a necessity if you're going to use background removal software. Yeah. Now, the background removal software means that I can switch my background just by pressing a button and be somewhere else. Okay. Now, just a thing, don't use something which is light at the top. Try and use something which is a little bit darker. Okay, and I'm just doing these at random. So the thing about background removal software is that you can change your background anytime during the live broadcast. And this is particularly useful on Zoom. Yeah, I'm going to show you the background removal software, but I want to make a point here. And the point is this. This is how I look normally. This is my green screen. It's a Logitech green screen. Okay, it is down the carousel at the moment. If you're going to have background removal software, and I do it so that you're not looking at this all the time, okay, it allows you to change your game. On Zoom, on YouTube, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, you can change your background, change the mood, and tell a story. And I'm going to show you how to do that. But I did want to make the point that background removal software is important. Okay, thank you for watching me live. And we're going to move on now to a camera. Okay. When I started broadcasting, which was about 6 years ago, we all used the internal camera and microphone on our PC or Mac. That's the way it was done. Okay, then along came Facebook Live, and we decided that we would have to up our game, yeah, improve. Okay, live broadcasting is continual and never-ending improvement in action, because you're upgrading your microphone, you're upgrading your camera, you're upgrading your green screen. In fact, you're upgrading continually as you find new items to use. And there were hundreds of us who were live broadcasting 6 years ago, if not thousands. In fact, I can say thousands, because on Blab, there was most definitely thousands of people broadcasting. But when Facebook Live came about, we all decided to up our game. And the first game we upped was our camera. And the camera we all went for is this one, which is the Logitech C920. Now, the model I'm showing you is Logitech C920x. I'll explain what the X means. X means extra, and there is something extra with this camera, which I'll explain in a moment. This C920x is the ideal first camera. If you're new to live broadcasting or want to improve your Zoom calls, use an external camera. Logitech C920x, twin microphone, stereo microphone, and the lens in the center. It's got a 78-degree field of vision. Okay. How does it attach? If you pull down the shelf there, then it goes over the back of your monitor and you sort the angle so that you're happy looking at the camera. Okay, I'll come back to looking at the camera shortly. The other end of this camera, you plug into your PC or Mac. Simple and straightforward as that. I can't show you this because it's not plugged in. I'm using a Logitech Brio, but this is the camera I bought, the C920X. I've had this camera for 6 years. The model that's down the carousel is newer than that. But I just want to say a word about the durability of Logitech equipment. So the last 6 years, this camera is as new. Okay, it attaches itself to my second PC and it just works. Yeah, I've never had a problem with this camera. Never in 6 years, which is saying something. So it's a quality build. It's built to last. Okay, I'm hoping that Logitech Litra Lite, which is up above me, will last as long. Yeah. If you don't want to have it over your monitor, then if you fold that, you'll notice that there is a thread on the bottom of the camera, and basically what you can do is you can take your trusty tripod and you can attach the tripod to the camera. Okay, it just takes a second or two, and there's your second or two. It's now on the tripod, which means that you can position this camera anywhere that you want. Okay, and that's handy. I mean, we're living in the days, I've got two cameras I'm using today. In the days when we can have 2, 3 or 4 cameras on screen, the ability to put the Logitech C920x on a tripod and position it anywhere you want is so useful. Okay, so if it goes on there, then it must come off again. So let me take it off the trusty tripod. Tripod is not down the carousel, but there are many tripods about, and they all have a standard fitting. So any tripod will put into the foot of this camera. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my crib sheet, and we're going to talk about this camera, and then I'm going to show you what the X stands for in extra. Okay, so Logitech C920x is the camera. Okay, it is, X stands for extra. It's 1080p and 30 fps. Now I'm broadcasting to you in 720p, which is 720 pixels. 1080 is high definition. 720 is DVD, so DVD and high definition. This camera is capable of. Okay, so this camera broadcasts to Amazon Live, to Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. No problem at all. It's got the microphones we've talked about, omnidirectional microphones. Now, the omnidirectional part means that they will pick up the sound that's around you. Okay, so be aware of that. You do need some form of noise cancellation. Okay, and if I take that off, there is additional software with the camera, which I'm going to show you when we look at the Brio, a piece of software called Capture. And it's got a low light setting. If I switch my light off, okay, then I'll go dark, and what will happen is the camera will try to compensate. Okay, switch the light back on, and the next point is 78 degrees field of view, which we said. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take that off screen. The X in XSplit stands for XSplit VCam. What I'm going to do is I'm going to find a short video which is somewhere down in my carousel. Forgive me for a moment, I'm looking for something, and when I find it, I shall bring it up on screen. It's over here somewhere. So I do try and get everything in order, and I'm looking for, I've got it. Okay. I want to hide that and show that. Okay. The take myself off full screen. Okay. Hide the software. We don't need that anymore. Okay, and we're now back to the video, and I'm going to show you the video. This is the extra that comes with the camera. Okay, this is background removal software from XSplit VCam. I've been using it since January 2019. It simply works. This is an explanation of what it's all about, why we actually use background removal software. So let's go for it. I'm going to put the video full screen. Okay, and I am going to switch my microphone off. Is here to give you an overview of XSplit VCam, how it works. background removal tool I've been using since January 2019, and it just keeps getting better and better. Now, the image behind me is one of Salisbury Cathedral, and the acid test of any background removal tool is that you still have 10 fingers with little webbing between them. Okay, so that test passed. Second is the outline of your body. Those are the things to look for when you're looking at a green screen, the ability to actually move about. So let's take a look at the software itself. And this is the XSplit VCam program. Okay, now you notice the top there, it says original. This is me. This is also me. So this is how I look normally. Now, first stage is to actually remove the background. So let's remove the background by pressing a button, and I get background's gone. Okay, prove that if I go here, background has disappeared. Okay, so the next step is to select a background to go in place, and you can do that just by clicking an image. You'll get a different background. Okay, that's it. That's very colorful. Now, just a warning, you need to make sure that the image at the top is not too light. Okay, what you don't want is to have an image too light at the top. If you try it, you'll see what I mean. Okay, now XSplit VCam is an external program which you download from XSplit, and it sits on your computer and you can use it in this way. Okay, so over to one of my favorite backgrounds. So I'm just switching background. Now, if I go to here, you can actually see that I can get backgrounds from several sources. I can upload a media file. Okay, and I'm going to upload a media file. I'm going to go on my hard drive to artwork and to reduced. Okay, and I'm going to bring up this image, and that's it. That's how easy it is to take an image from your hard drive and bring it on screen. Second thing you can do is you can run a YouTube video. Now, I thought it wasn't me. Right, okay. Apologies for that. Right, okay. So that was the thing about live video, is that nothing ever goes perfectly. I'm streaming live to you now from Wiltshire in England, all across the Atlantic, over to the Amazon servers, and occasionally we're going to get a small glitch. Okay, there's nothing we can do about that. Just don't panic, just carry on. And what I've actually done, and hopefully my lip sync is better now, is that I've switched off XSplit VCam. I'm well known for pushing the boat out and trying to push this technology as far as it will go, so I can show you everything. But occasionally you've got to take a step back and say, keep it simple. So that's what I've done. Right. Talking about XSplit VCam software, which you get a 3-month trial, well, you get a 3-month license to, with the camera that's down in the carousel, a Logitech C920x. Second thing you can do is you can play YouTube video in the background. Okay, now you go to YouTube, get the URL, put it into the XSplit VCam, and a moving video would play behind you. Now, it won't have sound, so there's no problem there. But it should be a public video. If a video plays, good. If a video doesn't play, go on to the next one, because people have got to give express permission for us to use their video. And if they don't give permission, there's no way around that. Just skip to the next video, find one that does work. Okay. Third thing you can do is you can have a website behind you. Okay, and you can talk over the website, talk about the website. It can be your website, it can be anybody else's website. If by definition websites are public, but if you are using somebody else's website, then please do say whose website it is. And then finally, there is a website called unsplash.com, which is where photographers from around the world send their best photographs. Okay, and you can go to unsplash.com. You can put in New York, and you put in Paris, or you can put in Hong Kong, and it will show you pictures that have been shot by photographers of those locations. You can download the picture, bring it into XSplit VCamp, and use it as a backdrop, free of charge. Okay. If you do that, what I tend to do is when I find an image I like, is I send out a tweet which recognizes the photographer, gives them credit for it. It also means that people know I'm using background removal software, and these are the images that I'm using, because it shows the image on Twitter. Twitter is very, very good at showing images. What's going to happen to Twitter? That's not a question for today, but interesting things are happening at Twitter, and I'm watching to see what changes actually take place, and I'm sure that some of you are too. I mean, if we think about it, Facebook and Twitter have been in our social media lives since they began. And I mean, I've been a member of both since they actually started. And they give us the news, they keep us in contact with friends, they keep us up to date, they keep us informed. It's going to be interesting once Twitter changes hands as to what actually happens. Right, okay, anyway, that's by the by, that's nothing to do with what I'm talking about today. It is social media related though. If you've got any views on the Twitter purchase, then please do say. Okay, now you're down the carousel now is the Logitech Brio camera. Okay, now as you know, this is my Logitech C920x, which was the first camera that I purchased, but I replaced it with Logitech Brio, which is down the carousel now. You're watching the Logitech Brio. This is me on the Logitech Brio. The camera is on my BenQ monitor just up above me. I'm trying to look at the camera all the time, and it is, well, I could tell you why I got it. Okay, this was my first external camera. My second was the Brio. And I got the Brio for the 4K. Yeah, it's the 4K. It's the definition. It's basically 720, 1080, 4K. Okay, the quality of the video. Now we can broadcast in 4K to YouTube. Okay, and I did that a couple of weeks ago using XSplit Broadcaster. It could have been OBS, it could have been vMix, but I used XSplit Broadcaster because I love XSplit software. And I broadcast to YouTube using the 4K option on my Logitech Brio camera, and I was blown away. The quality of a 4K broadcast, it's night and day between that and a 720p broadcast. Unfortunately, the internet is not good enough for us to broadcast everywhere in 4K at the moment. And I've noticed the comments coming, and I'll get to the comments in a moment. The internet is not good enough for us to broadcast in 4K. One day it will be, but today it's not. But we can, on our own, use a 4K camera to broadcast out to our website, to broadcast out to YouTube. And it's the quality. Now, as far as the Logitech Brio is concerned, let's just go through some of the major features, and then I'm going to show you software. Basically, you can get, just a minute, you can get the Brio camera and it's plug and play. Yeah, you don't need to do anything. You can just plug it into your PC or Mac. And I'm trying to put something down. You plug into your PC or Mac and it just works. You don't need any setup at all. But there are things you can do to improve how it looks. I'm going to go through those in a moment. I'm going to tell you about a piece of software called Logitech Capture, which you can download from logitech.com. And I'm going to show you how it works and what you can do to your camera. Okay. So the Brio is Ultra 4K video. It's a noise cancelling microphone. Now, I'm using noise cancellation today. I dropped things earlier in this broadcast, you didn't hear them, because the only thing that's being heard by the broadcasting software is my voice. Yeah, noise cancelling software cuts out all the background noise, it all disappears, and the only thing that can be heard is you. So it is especially when you've got omnidirectional mics, noise cancelling is a must. Okay, next thing, high definition auto light correction. If I turn my light off again, my Logitech Brio will adjust the lighting so that you can still see me. Okay, if it didn't have auto correction, then I'd be a lot darker than I am. But let's switch the lights back on because we have them. It's a Logitech Litra light, which is down the carousel to the left of the camera you're looking at now. If you want to scroll the carousel, you'll find it. So light correction built in. Now, you can just use the light correction, but I would suggest, whether you're on Zoom or on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, that you actually use an external light. Wide field of view is, we saw earlier, 78 degrees on the C920x. We've got 90 degrees on the Brio, so it's got a wider field of view. It can see more, and I'll demonstrate that to you momentarily. Okay, so the next thing is 4 times the resolution. We talked about 1080. This is 4K. This shows you on camera in real detail. Yeah, everything shows. Okay, 720 is very kind. 4K, where you can see all the wrinkles. Auto light adjustment is called Logitech Right Light, and it's got 3 fields of view, and we're going to look at those now: 90, 78, or 65. Now, if you go to Logitech site, irrespective of the camera, Logitech camera you bought, 920, 922, 925, 930, Brio, 270, Logitech Capture will control your camera. You can just plug it in, but you get a lot more out of it if you download the software, install it, and then use it. And I'm using it today, and I'm going to go over and I'm going to share screen. So let me share screen and share a window. So it's moved. Okay. Just a minute. Just a second. Okay, what I want to do is okay, we'll get there. It just keeps hiding. Whew. 3 things you need in live broadcasting at the very least. Okay. Persistence, patience, and the will to win. Okay. This technology is not going to go down at all. You're going to stay calm, carry on. Right. This is the software that you can download from Logitech to control your camera. So let's go over here and bring it on screen. Okay. This is the Logitech Capture software. And just before we carry on, I'm going to come back to me and come back to say thank you. Okay. And Rome is wishing me a wonderful Wednesday. Hello, Rome. Nice to see you. And Rome is a fellow broadcaster on Amazon Live. We're all independent. We all enjoy doing this. We're here because we enjoy it. Rome, if you're still watching, because I noticed it was 4 minutes ago, if you're still watching, please drop a link in to your own Amazon Live channel. Amazon Live have given us our own pages on Amazon.com. Imagine having your own page on Amazon.com, the world's 3rd or 5th largest website. Absolutely amazing. Amazon look after the broadcasters, and I'm just grateful to actually be here. I'm broadcasting to you live today, and okay, yes, the app is on my computer. Yeah, so I'm gonna share it now, and I want to say right, I want to say thank you to Cliente. Okay, I hope I pronounced that right. Cliente de Amazon, an Amazon client. I'm good. I've just spent 2 weeks in Germany with Angelica's relatives. Angelica is dual nationality. She's British English and she's German. She emigrated from Germany to the UK. She's got dual passports. And I just spent 2 weeks in Germany with Angelica's family. And we fly out there, we stay with Angelica's mum. And you wouldn't believe this, but everybody in Germany speaks German all the time. And the television is German all the time. And there's no English spoken. So I spent 11 days immersed in the German language, which is the best way to learn, really. I mean, I'm a German language student, so I don't have a problem with that. But it means that I didn't speak English for 11 days. Okay, I spoke German, and I'm just, you've got to switch over. Okay, so, but the point I'm making is that I'm into languages. And over to Rome. Hope to see you later on my stream, friend. Yeah, okay, all the time. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Rome. And if you, Rome's stream is after mine. If you click the link, it will take you to Rome's stream. And I always go, I mean, after I finished here, I go and watch Rome. Okay, because the information that Rome gives out during this live broadcast, very helpful. Right, okay, where were we before I started talking about German? I want to hide that. Okay, and I'm going to go picture in picture. Okay, so this is, let's remind ourselves, it's been a while. This is Logitech Capture software, and this is a close relation. It's just easier to actually show using this. If you go to logitech.com, search for Logitech Capture, download the software. This is what you can do with the software. Now let's just change things slightly. I'm going to go over here and change theme. Okay, and there we have it. I'm going to go side by side. Okay, and I'm going to do this. Okay, so you can now see the software. So software is on the right hand side, I'm on the left, all's good. Okay, and I'm going to control the software, which is on my desktop. Not that one. I've got to find it. I've moved it. Okay, I found it now. Now, the first thing you can do is you can zoom in. Okay, now I'm zooming in. I apologize for this. And I'm going to zoom out again to here. The number of Zoom calls that I've watched in the last 2.25 years where people cut off the top of their head. It's not a good look, is it really? People want to see you. So when you're actually setting up your camera, please leave room for the top of your head. It's a small point, but it's an important point, because when we're actually watching live video, we expect to see headroom over the person's head. So that's tip one. Tip two, we expect the person, if it's just one person on camera, to be sat somewhere in the middle of the screen. Being off to one side is not a good look. You want to be somewhere near the middle of the screen. Okay, so headroom near the middle of the screen. Now, the other thing is, if you are broadcasting live, and it includes Zoom in this, you have to, for everybody's sake. I mean, if you watch somebody in a Zoom call and their hands are all over the place and they're moving from left to right and bobbing their head up and down, it's distracting. If you're going to broadcast live, you have to play as much as you can statues. I don't know whether your mother did this to you, but my mum used to say, if you sit still for 5 minutes, you'll get a sweet. Okay. So I used to sit still for 5 minutes. Okay. Not move. Now, live broadcasting, you don't have to sit totally still. Yeah. But you don't want to be bobbing about. Okay. So headroom, middle, don't move too much. Okay. So I can zoom in and out, make sure you've got the headroom. The second thing is, if I go side by side now to actually illustrate this, is that I can, using the software, using Logitech Capture, I can move, I can pan to the left or the right. I'm going to go both ways just to show that I can, and you're seeing more of my office and my book collection and the chess set, and come back to me and get to the situation where I am, where I want to be, which is in front of the green screen. I can tilt Okay, so using these controls, I can pan, tilt and zoom. Okay, those are the physical controls. The other thing I can do is I can change the field of view. Now, we said a moment ago that the software has three fields of view, 3 presets, 90, 78 or 65. These are preset. We're going to go firstly to 90 degrees. Now at 90 degrees, you can see more of me. You can see that I actually do have a body and I've got a jumper on. It's got more colors than black. This is the 90-degree view. And most people, when they start broadcasting, when we start broadcasting, this is the view you start off with all your office behind you. As you grow in confidence and you can take control of the set, then what you can do is you can zoom in to my favorite, which is 78 degrees. Okay, and the 78 degrees I'm comfortable with. This is, I can go 90 degrees, yeah, but the 90-degree one is too tight. Okay, I'm too close to the screen. This is all about being comfortable. I am not comfortable when I'm too close to the screen. Okay, and I dare say that you're the same. I'm going to go to the comments in a minute. So in terms of field of view, I'm going to go 78 degrees. Okay, and I could go wide angle. Okay, and if I go here, you'll see it. Okay, or I could go normal, standard, and I'm trying to get back to where I was. Okay, I'm back to where I was. I'm a happy bunny. Okay, now you can see bottom right hand corner, if I go here, that this is controlling my Logitech Brio camera, bottom right hand corner. This software can control any Logitech camera. Simple and straightforward to use. Now, those are the physical controls. Then we have other controls, which I'm going to go to the advanced tab here. And the other controls are brightness. Now I can increase the brightness until that's much too bright, or I can go the other way. He said, that's much too dark. The defaults on all of these, I'm a bit wary at this stage. I want to get back to 50. Okay, I'm going to stay too dark if I don't do this right. Okay, a 50. So if you get something wrong, then you can always wind it back to 50 and all will be good. I can change the color intensity. I can go bright red or I can go sepia. Now, there could be an occasion where, I mean, everybody's in glorious full color now. What you could actually do is just go sepia to attract attention to your broadcast. Okay. And I'm going to switch back again to having it at 50. Okay, and 50 is round about there. Okay, so we've got the color back. Okay, so that's good. And contrast, I can change the contrast way up or way down. Again, I'm going to go back to 50. Okay, so that's the 50 setting. And then auto white balance. If I switch that off, you'll see a difference. Okay, now this is a personal preference. Okay, that's a rich color white. If I turn off, you'll see that I go a different color. Okay, and it's all personal choice. So on and off. The final one that you can see is autofocus, bottom left hand corner. We don't need that at all anymore. That is not needed. Okay, so this software is called Logitech Capture. If you've got a Logitech camera, it is free. Just go to logitech.com, type in Logitech.capture in the search bar, download the software, install it, and then you've got total control over your camera. Okay, now I realise that I'm not looking exact as looked a moment ago, but we'll carry on anyway. Okay, I wish the old spot. a better control for color. And right, I'm going to come on to your spot next, Rome. They've done an update. The most recent update is face auto exposure, which gives a better well, I used to put the OBSpot next to the Brio and you could tell the difference because there was no color control. Now they've done it automatically. So on the latest version of software, I think it's improved, but it is getting there. So just in summary then, you are currently looking at the Logitech Brio 4K webcam. It's down in the carousel now. It is in fact 23. Wow. It's cheaper than when I bought it. Yeah. I just want to, I've done something wrong. I know I have. I just want to take the brightness down a little bit. It's now cheaper than when I bought it. It's 153.42, which is 23% off today. I've had the Logitech Brio camera for the last 2 years. I've not had a problem with it. It works out of the box. Get the software to take greater control of it, and it is basically my favoritist camera. So that is the Logitech Brio, which is absolutely brilliant. And Rome has just made mention of the OBSpot. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take the Brio there. I'm still on the Brio, but I'm looking for in my carousel, I'm looking for something, and I'm going to bring it on screen. Okay, and take myself off solo. And what I'm going to do, I apologize for this. You don't know what's going to happen. I do. There are now two of me. And this is what Rome was saying about the color wise. There isn't as much opportunity to control the colors with the OBSpot Tiny, which is on the right, and the Logitech Brio. They are different. The Logitech Brio camera, the colors are oversaturated. Okay. The camera at the side at the moment is the OBSpot Tiny, and I'm going to put that down in the carousel. And we're going to take a look at the OBSpot Tiny, but I'm not going to leave two of me on screen. Just a second. Okay, so we're actually looking at now, if I put that full screen, this is the OBSpot Tiny camera. Okay, now I've had this camera for 5 weeks and I'm getting to grips with it and I enjoy using it. It's the most fun I've had with a webcam. It's sat on top of my monitor next to the Logitech Brio, and it is a special camera. Okay, OBSpot Tiny PTZ webcam. PTZ stands for Pan, Tilt, and Zoom. Pan, Tilt, and Zoom. Okay, PTZ, Pan, Tilt, and Zoom. I love acronyms most of the time. Okay, so we're now looking at the OBSpot Tiny camera. I've switched between, when on the Brio, we're on the OBSpot Tiny now. Okay, and as you'll notice, it's moving about. Just a minute. I knew this would happen. Okay, now we're back to me. Okay, and it won't move. I do apologize for that. That was most unexpected. Okay, so the OBSpot Tiny is basically a camera plus. It has a 90-degree field of vision, but it's AI powered and the camera itself is on a gimbal, which means it has very special facilities, which the range of Logitech cameras that I've shown you don't have. Okay, there are Logitech PTZ cameras. They cost a little bit more than the OBSpot Tiny, which is down the carousel at the moment at $179. It is, as I say, $179. It is 10% off today. So again, it's cheaper than when I bought it. Okay, but this is the OBSpot Tiny camera, and it is AI powered. It's got gesture control. Zoom in, zoom out, start tracking, stop tracking. I'll show you the tracking in a moment. Next thing up, it's full 1080p. It is a 1080p webcam. You can broadcast to Zoom, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch using this webcam. It is a quality webcam and with extras. Okay, it's got dual omnidirectional microphones. Okay, which means they can hear everything, but it has noise cancellation as well. 90-degree angle as opposed to the 78 degrees, so it's the same as the Brio in terms of angle. It's got low light correction. Most cameras do have now. If I switch the lights off, okay, then you can see I've gone darker, but you can still see me because the camera is actually compensating for the low light. Let's put the light back on so you can see more. I love demonstrating the Logitech Litra light, which is the first item in the carousel, by the way. And the next thing about this is that it's a PTZ camera. Okay, now, the first thing is that this camera has presets. Okay, I'm going to close that software because I don't need it. One gets confused. Okay, this camera, we're still on the PTZ. This is still, just put this on screen so you've got it. I'm going to cancel that. I clicked the wrong button. You are looking at the OBS tiny PTZ camera, and I do want to make a correction over here so that you're actually on me. Okay, it has preset places. In other words, it's not restricted to 90 degrees. I can ask the camera to go to my desktop. Okay, and it will pan down to my desktop. Okay, this is still the Oswald tiny camera, and if I switch on, just a minute, whilst that's on, you're going to see that I'm actually going to stand up and switch my second light on. Okay, so we now got room lights as well. I'm back. Okay, and that's the second view that the Oswald Tiny has. And then the third view, and this really is a nonsensical view because this is the view of the wall. And what you're looking at there is an Under Armour rucksack and a picture of Stonehenge. And over to Rome again, and Rome is saying, I have the Tiny 4K. It's a lot of fun. I agree. It is the funnest camera I've had, and I enjoy using it and demonstrating it. So that's a preset location. Now, if I'm going to leave that there, but come back to me. Yeah. And I'm going to click a button. If this works, it'd be good. If it doesn't work, then okay. The thing about this camera, he said, is that as you actually move around the room, and this is why I love demonstrating it, it actually tracks you. So I'm going to move the microphone a bit nearer, and you can see the camera is actually following me. The camera follows me around the room. So if I move, I know the camera moves. Okay, and I'm going to go back over here again. And if I duck down, the camera ducks down. But you notice all the time, it's actually giving me headroom. Yeah, it's actually doing that. I'm going to pull the chair out of the way because I love the ability to be stood up. And as I come forward, the camera will adjust. Okay, so I've now got headroom. And the beauty of this is that I can stand up and I can demonstrate products in a different way than if I was actually sat down. So I can take out these. Okay, these are down the carousel. These are Aftershocks headphones. They go over your ear like that. Okay, they don't go inside your ear canal. So the first thing is that you're actually listening to the music or the podcast. The sound waves travel through your skull and the quality is good. Okay, it's not hi-fi, but it is good quality. And you can listen to Amazon Music, you can listen to a podcast quite easily with these headphones. Aftershocks, a well-known brand for producing bone conduction headphones. This particular set is blue. You can choose your own color. You don't have to have blue. If you click the link in the carousel, you'll find the Aftershocks earbuds. You can go and you can look at the different colorways. They're waterproof. They are showerproof. So when I'm out walking, running and jogging, I can use these and they're going to work. And they're not going to have a problem if there's a sudden shower, which is perhaps as well. Sound quality is good, as I said. And the thing is with these, you're actually not going to lose them. And they're designed for activities. They're designed for walking, running, jogging and cycling. They are perfect for those pursuits. And I just enjoy wearing them. As far as the weight is concerned, I actually forget that I'm wearing them. Yeah. So I'm waiting for the camera to adjust. And it will. These are the headphones, but I'm not showing you the headphones, am I? I'm actually showing you the PTZ camera and the fact that this camera is tracking me as I move around the office. Now, what you can do, just a minute, what you can do is you can turn the camera upside down, put it onto a fixing on the wall, and you could record a tutor or a professor in giving a class. And as they move about, yeah, it will record everything that they do. So if you want to record lessons from university or from school, then you can do that. Just turn the camera upside down. But the thing I do love about it is that it gives so many different possibilities. It has, just give me a second. Back to the desktop. I'm still here, by the way. Back to the desktop. Okay. It still has the ability. Yeah. And as I said to Rome a moment ago, they are updating on a regular basis the firmware and the software that actually controls this. Okay, talking of which, let's have a quick look at the software that comes with this camera. Okay, because as you know, I love hardware that has software that accompanies it. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to share my desktop. Okay, and I'm going to share the OpenSpot Tiny software. Okay, and I'm going to bring it full screen, just to give me a second, and go there. Okay, this is the OpenSpot Tiny software, and it can control a number of OpenSpot cameras. Okay, not just one, it can control two, well, as many cameras as you've got. In terms of the tracking, then you can see that I can lock so it doesn't move. Okay, I can change basically the way that it looks, and if I press I'll bring myself back in a second. Okay, coming back now. If I just go side by side, this is probably the best way. You don't need, I'm going to switch that camera off. Okay, so you now just got me and the software, and I'm going to attempt this. Okay, there you have it. So you've got me and you've got the software. Okay, now using the software, first thing I want to do is, and the software is on my desktop, I've downloaded it from HubSpot, is I need to click there, and I love it when a demonstration goes right. Let's go to the desktop. Okay, so that's the desktop view. Then you've got the view of me. Okay, and then you've got the third view over on the wall. Now that third view, I can, using the controls here, I can change that. Okay, and I can go back again, I can go up again, I can go left again. You get the idea here. Oh, wait a minute, what was that? If I go over here, I'm going to get lost. Just a minute. Okay. If you get lost, just press the button. Okay, but you can control the software. In addition to that, if I go here and bring that over here, then I'm going to go side by side so you can actually see this. Okay, this is the additional piece of software that comes with the Osbot Tiny, and it will auto sleep. If you don't use the camera for 5 or 10 minutes, it will switch off. Gesture control, we've talked about. I'm going to come back to me. Okay, as I'm talking about this gesture control, we've talked about. And the bit I was talking to Rome about was the face auto exposure, which has improved the quality of the video. So I'm going to put this full screen. Okay, you can now see my chest set. Notice how I'm moving about. So that is, and you are watching the Osbot Tiny PTZ camera, which is down in the carousel. It is 10% off today, and it's AI powered, as we've seen. Okay, so that none of us get queasy, I'm going to actually stop this just a minute. I want to do something, and I'm going to do it. Okay, we're now fixed. We're not going to move. Okay, when I move the back, wait a minute. You can have so much fun with this camera, and there are so many different uses. I'm exploring and finding new things I can do every time I use the camera. Just to go through, it does have a magnetic mount. It's got the 2-axis gimbal, which was just tracking me about the room. Okay, and it's got auto sleep mode and motion mode. It's got a fast motion mode, so if you move quicker than I do, then you could use that. Okay, and it's got noise reduction as well, we should have heard. And face auto exposure is the new one, which means that we've got more colour in our cheeks, and that's a great addition. That came out 3 weeks ago. And as I say, Osbot are actually always upgrading both the firmware in the camera and the software that controls it. There is, if you click the link in the carousel for the Osbot Tiny, you'll find there's a new Osbot camera, which is the Osbot 4K. The Osbot 4K is a 4K camera like the Brio, which means you can broadcast to YouTube or to your website in 4K. In addition to that, it's got 4 times zoom. Okay, so it's got a better zoom than the Osbot Tiny. I'm going to be buying a 4K camera later this year, the Osbot 4K. I'll buy it and show it to you. The way that I work this is that I'm showing you things that I use every single day, which I own. Yeah, so over 75% of the items in the carousel I actually own and use on a regular basis. So if you've got any questions about anything that's down the carousel, then please do ask. And hit the follow button. Check out. Right, okay. And advice from Rome before he went to do his own show is hit the follow button. If you're enjoying this broadcast, and I hope you are, and you want to see me again, just press the follow button. It means you'll get notified possibly when I go live, and you can come back and watch my broadcasts. Okay. And as soon as I said that, and over to Rome again. Have you seen the remote for Osbot? I have one. I've seen the remote for Osbot. I've seen mixed reviews of it, so I'm not totally sure. I'd like to see one in action, Rome. If you want to do it, if you at any point do a demonstration in your show, I'll actually come and watch. But I so much want to control it from the desktop. Okay, let's go back to me. And this time we're going back to the other me. So we are now back on, and you are watching. Just a minute. I'm now back on the Logitech C920x camera, down the carousel, and it is 23% off today. So I've taken you through the Logitech camera, and if you've got right, I want to say thank you to Rome for all his comments today. Just a note, if you're watching me live now and listening, I'm very grateful that you are. I mean, I'm totally blessed to be able to broadcast on Amazon Live from the UK. And I may have said it before, but there are only 4 Englishmen actually broadcasting on Amazon Live. See if you can find the other 3. Come back and tell me who they are. If you've got any questions about anything I show you, please do ask. Okay, this is your chance. This is free service. We're all independent broadcasters. We all have our own areas of expertise, be it live broadcasting, be it sports, be it cooking, be it books. You can ask any questions you like of any of the broadcasters on Amazon Live and get a straight answer. Okay, we don't work for Amazon. We're independent and we're here to help you as you look around Amazon.com. And the advice that we give is from actually using the products that are down the carousel. And if there's something wrong, I will tell you. Okay. But most of the time, I enjoy using everything that I'm showing you. Otherwise, it wouldn't be in the carousel. Okay. So thank you for watching live. And Rome's going to demo the remote today. Thank you, Rome. Brilliant. Okay. I'd love to see what it actually does. And this is the great thing, that we're a community of broadcasters on Amazon Live and we help each other. I will go watch Rome after this and watch the OBSBot demonstration with the remote that actually controls the OBSBot. Okay, so I'm looking forward to that. Okay, now down to the carousel and time for an announcement. Okay. Yesterday, I did a broadcast on Amazon Live, and I started at 9 a.m. Eastern, and it got to 10:35 yesterday, and things were going well. And I played a video, and I forgot to unmute myself after the video, the result of which the video ended. Okay. And there are 2 things you can do then. You can say, right, I've done an hour and 35 minutes. I'll go and sit in the garden, or I'm going to go live again and finish the topics I didn't actually get to last time. I took the second option and I went live at 11 a.m. Eastern yesterday as well. And I've decided I'm going to try, because of the response, I'm going to try going live at 11 a.m. Eastern tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow's broadcast is at 11 a.m. Eastern, not at 9 a.m. Eastern. I'm trying to reschedule things. If I reschedule my morning show, UK time, into the afternoon and this show, then I can be broadcasting from 2 to 6 o'clock, and then that's my day. So I'm going to experiment a little bit. Okay, so bear with me as I do that. I will be live at 9 a.m. Eastern every Wednesday, but I may be at 11 a.m. Eastern on other days, which means I may see you. I'll definitely see you on a Wednesday, I hope. Okay, so those are the changes that I'm making in my Amazon Live broadcasting. Remember, Amazon Live is 24/7. Yeah. If you want your TV guide, then go to the browse button at the top. Sorry, go to the button at the top and then go streaming soon, and you've got your own Amazon Live TV guide. You'll see Rome in there, and you'll see everybody scheduled between now and tomorrow. And you can set reminders so you can come and watch people live. You can build your own TV channel. There is no reason why you couldn't, in the background, be running Amazon Live 24/7. There are so many different broadcasts, different topics, different areas of expertise. As I say, we're all a brotherhood. We all get on, we all help each other. And I'm looking forward to seeing Rome's broadcast later. And Rome's link is in the comments. Now, just a thing about the comments. The comments that you make are important to a broadcast because you've got the opportunity to actually ask questions and to say where you're from or just say hello. And that adds to the show. Rome's comments have added to the broadcast today. Yeah. And I'm grateful for those. If you've got anything that you want to ask, then please do. And if you've unmuted by pressing the unmute button, thank you so much. I do really appreciate it. Okay, now I'm going to go round again, and okay, let's just go just for a moment. I'm going to Okay, I'll get there in a second. What I actually want to do is this. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing that software. I'm going to switch. I'm going to come back, switch that camera on. Okay, and I'm going to go picture in picture. Not that way around, that way around. I'm going to shrink myself. Okay, I'm going to have a look around my desktop, literally, as I go and change theme and make myself smaller. Okay, down in the carousel, all the items are in the carousel I use on a regular basis. And you can see here, the Logitech Litra Lite, which I'm lit by at the moment. And I'm going to put that back. I'm going to open it up and I'm going to put it back on top of the monitor. Okay, so there we are. It's back on top of the monitor and I'm back here now. Okay, we've looked at the Aftershocks Earbuds, which are down in the carousel, and I use these when I'm out walking, running and jogging. We've looked at this. It must be about somewhere. Okay, we've looked at here. We've looked at the lapel microphone, which is the easiest way to get quality sound on your mobile phone. I'm going to put that down there for a moment. But the thing I want to talk about is this, and it's only a small thing, but this item I'm about to show you now is my best purchase of 2022. It's the best bargain. I'm going to show you now. And it's this. It's down in the carousel. It is the Anker 4-way USB. Now, as you can see, I've got the opportunity to have two cameras. Okay. And I've got two cameras on screen now. But I've got to get those cameras plugged in to my Microsoft Surface Book 2. And I've got to tell you this. This is rant moment. When you buy a new PC or Mac, there are never enough USB-A and USB-C ports. I haven't the foggiest idea why. Because when they're actually making these machines that cost hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, the cost of adding a USB port is minuscule. There should be, to my way of thinking, 4 USB-A ports and 2 USB-C ports on every new Windows PC and every Mac. But until that happens, I wanted to have two cameras on screen. I got this unit, which is down here, which is in the carousel, which is the Anker 4-way USB hub. Now, this little unit, you unplug your camera from your PC, you plug in this unit. I've got two cameras plugged into this unit. I've also got a microphone plugged in, and I've also got the light plugged in. This has allowed me to have two cameras on screen because my BeLive studio, I'm broadcasting today, just so you know. I'm broadcasting today from BeLive, okay? And that means I could play you the YouTube video earlier. I can show you images on screen. I can have two cameras. And my second camera is the Oswald Tiny, which you've just seen, which is pointing down at my desktop. What I'm going to do is just change up slightly, just a minute, and go here. Okay, and go picture in picture. Not that way around, that way around. Okay, and I'm going to shrink myself. Okay, hours of fun. Sorry about this. To get back where I started. So the 4-way USB hub is my purchase of 2022. It's allowed me to have two cameras and two microphones. And I recommend it. It should be in everybody's toolkit. We looked at the Logitech reversible green screen earlier. It's the one behind me. And the next item I'm going to look at is this. Okay. I'm going to come back to me. Okay. I'm a desktop kind of guy. I broadcast live 5 times a week on Amazon Live. I broadcast on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, and my website. Desktop. I'm used to desktop. I know where everything is. I've got my own studio. I can bring things on screen. I can bring images on screen. I can play YouTube videos. I can put lower thirds on like this. Let's just give you an example of a lower third. Take the logo off and go over here and go here. I can have lower thirds. Yeah, so I can change up everything that I do. I'm a desktop kind of guy. That's where I'm coming from. But last year I discovered mobile video. The ability to go live from my mobile phone. Okay. And this has opened up a whole new world. Angelica, my partner, and I go out at weekends and we visit country houses, castles, and national monuments. And we have the grand tour, we walk around, we sample everything. We have a cream tea. Okay. In other words, we go to the restaurant and have something to eat as well whilst we're there. Then I go out in the back with my camera and I film, but I don't just film, I actually go live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Yeah, I'll tell you how in a minute. But there are two problems with going on a mobile phone. One is if you've got an expensive mobile phone, say an iPhone or a Samsung, that costs thousands of dollars, you've got it tightly in your grip because the thing you're actually bothered about is dropping the phone on the ground and smashing the screen. That's the first problem. The second problem is if you hold the camera in your hand, as you move, the camera will move. And you can't, basically, if you shoot the video like that with the camera going up and down, you're going to get very shuddery, jittery video. You're not going to get good quality video doing that. What do you need? You need a gimbal. And the gimbal that I chose last year was this one, which is here. And this is down the carousel now. This is the Ho-M iSteady gimbal. It has two jobs in life. One, to keep your phone secure in the clamp, which gets over problem number one. You're not worried about dropping the phone anymore. Okay, because you're not going to forget you're actually holding this, you know. And the second thing is that it's got a gimbal built in, which means that as you move up and down, the gimbal moves up and down, compensating for your movement. So the camera on your phone stays steady. And that gives you the result of having reasonably high quality video. It's got a mind of its own, which you can then put on to YouTube. Okay. If you're just holding your phone and you put this video onto YouTube, yeah, people won't watch it. If you are using a gimbal, there is more chance of people actually watching your video. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over here and I'm going to bring my second camera in. Okay, so we are here. This is the gimbal. Okay, now you take your phone. Yeah. You take your phone out of the case. Okay. I'm not going to do that now because I'd have to put it back again. So you take your phone out of the case and you put it into the clamp. The clamp is extendable and will take larger phones. Okay, so the phone is in there. Now, the next thing you want to do is to switch the gimbal on, and there's a red button at the front. Now, this gimbal can pan, tilt, and zoom. It can do all sorts of things with the controls on the front, but the main button is the one to switch it on. But before you switch it on with your phone in, put the gimbal on a flat surface. Now, it doesn't matter. Mine's on a desk, but you should have the phone on a bench or on a flat rock. It's got to be flat, because if you switch it, the first thing the phone's going to do, the gimbal is going to do, is it's going to stabilize itself. Okay. And if you don't have it down here solid, then it won't calibrate correctly. And that's what you want. You want it to calibrate and stabilize itself. So that's why you always start a gimbal on a flat surface. Okay. So you start the gimbal, swizzles round, you're ready to shoot. You can go out like that, or you can go out like that. Start the software on your mobile phone. Now, I've got a piece of software which is called Astra Streaming Studio. And when I press the start button on here, it broadcasts out, and it broadcasts to Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. And I'm live. And there's something about being live on mobile. Yeah, something special. Adds a bit of excitement to it. So as I'm walking around, I know that I'm showing people around an area which they'll, in all likelihood, not have seen before. And I can tell my story all about the area we're actually visiting live on air, and people can ask questions live on air. It's an amazing feeling. And the other thing about this is that if you go out walking with your gimbal, you actually get an exercise. And the reasons for doing this, one is personal. If you go out and about and you actually record where you've been, then you can look back at it, you can play it on your smart TV, and you can watch back. Like we can watch back where we went to Stonehenge, or when we went to Avebury, or when we went to Portsmouth, can watch it back. The second thing is that you're actually recording history, and you can put that history onto YouTube if you use a gimbal. Okay, and something else which I'll talk about in a moment. But I could tell you all about this. Rather do is I'm going to put the gimbal down, and if you excuse me a moment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to find something I made earlier, and I'm going to take a video I made earlier. Just a minute. I'm just trying to find it. It is here somewhere. These things take a second or two to actually set up and to find. So I'm going to bring this on screen. Okay, and I need a title. Just a minute. Let me go here. This takes a second or two to set up, but believe me, it's actually worth it. The video I'm about to show you was created using the Hoen gimbal. So rather than talking about all this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play you an excerpt from a video which was shot using the Hoen gimbal. So let's bring the video full screen. I'm going to switch my microphone off and press play. It is a great place to visit. It's something about Salisbury. And say hello to Facebook, YouTube, Twitter and Twitch. Hopefully I'm live on my website too as we take this walk around Salisbury Cathedral. This is going to be a short broadcast, but hopefully it's a successful one. I can't see your comments because I'm actually just following around the cloisters. Okay, now the plan is we'll walk around the four sides of the cloisters and try and avoid people. But Salisbury for centuries has been a place of pilgrimage, just in the same way that pilgrims in Spain go on pilgrimages. Then this is one of the places that people from Europe used to come and visit. We're about to go past a door in a moment, a very special door. So we head towards the end of the corridor, and this piece is closed off. There are gardens through that door. We can go out into the gardens, but we're coming up the third side of the cloisters. And if I go over here, then I can give you an idea of what he said standing up, what the cloisters actually look like. It is a beautiful sight. As I just pan round to the cathedral itself, and hopefully I can just climb down again. Okay, 1, 2, we're down.
Okay, so now on our right, and it will be described in a moment on this poster here, this is the chapter house. And the chapter house, we can sort of look through the glass, but that's where there is one of the copies of the Magna Carta from 1215. And it's one of the original copies made at the time of the original. It's one of only 3 existing copies of the Magna Carta. And if you go through that doorway, then you can read and see the story of them.
Right, what I'm going to do now is just fast forward on the video, and I'm going to show you the exterior of the cathedral. Hopefully this will work. Just let me get to the point I want to, and in a second or two, there we are. So I'm going to press play again and watch a little bit more of the video, then I'll be back.
The Magna Carta Cathedral. As we go around, and there's nobody walking around here, we're quite safe until I get to the edge. Then what I'm going to try and do is go up, and if I zoom out, you get some idea of what the cathedral actually looks like. I'm just going to try and adjust here because I do want to get it. That's it. I'm going right to the top of the spire, and it will be cold up there today. And then coming down, sorry for being juddery, but we're actually coming down the external walls of the cathedral. Okay, so it is the 21st December.
I'm just going to hide a few things. So let's hide the video, and I'm going to come back to me. Okay, so that was the video of Salisbury Cathedral, and it was shot using the home gimbal, which is down the carousel. You're not worried about dropping the phone. I mean, all my videos on YouTube, people search for Stonehenge, they can find my Stonehenge video, or my Salisbury Cathedral video. And it is a great pastime, and it's a great way of actually keeping fit. Okay, now if you have any questions about doing mobile video, then please do ask. And let's go over to the iPad. And the iPad's down the carousel. I used to be totally, I've got to be honest here, I used to be a totally Windows Android guy. Yeah. I mean, I've used Windows since Windows 3.1, I think. And Android. I love Android phones. My Samsung. I love my Samsung. But in order to go live on Amazon Live, which I'm doing at the moment, thank you for watching me live. I'm just scrolling through. I'm mentioning this for a particular reason. In order to control this broadcast now, which I am, okay, I'm controlling the broadcast from this iPad. I had to get an iPad, an iPhone or an iPad. And I got the iPad. I got the Wi-Fi version of the iPad, which is this, which is down the carousel, $309. It's 9% off today. Now, dyed-in-the-wool Android guy has to buy an iPad to go live on Amazon Live. And I was blown away. I was totally surprised. Yeah, because the last Apple product I had was an iPod many years ago. Yeah. And this iPad was the first Apple product I bought in years. And I've got a reason for buying it. To actually broadcast live to you today. And I'm glad I did. But the quality of the build, okay, the speed of it, the apps that are available for it. I mean, I can watch Amazon Prime, I can surf the web, I can go on Facebook, I can go on YouTube, I can do everything that I could do on the Android tablet, but it's so fast and so intuitive. I'm sold now. Okay, my next tablet will be an iPad. Okay, iPad, in my view, is superior. Okay, so let's go back to the desktop. Okay, and what I'm going to do now, I don't know. I've got choices as to what I can actually do now. So what I'm going to do, this broadcast on Amazon Live, it's called Lights, Camera, Action with Stephen Healy, and this is Stephen live from Wiltshire in England. Okay, the next thing I'm going to talk about as I zap through the carousel is this. Okay, I named it Lights, Camera, Action for a reason. Yeah, and that's the action part. Okay, it was nothing to do with live video, nothing at all to do with live video. The action part of it is this. This is a Fitbit Inspire 2. And this is the way that I keep fit. Okay. Now, if you click the link in the carousel, you will see that this is the original strap on the Fitbit Inspire 2. Okay. You can get other straps. You can get designer straps. Why have I got this? I've had Fitbits for the last 8 years. Fitbits are the way that I keep fit. Okay. Its job in life is to actually, just going to set something up. Just let me get this going. Just a minute. I'm waiting for something to respond. Okay, I've got it. Okay, I'm back to me. This is what keeps me fit. I try and do 8,000 steps a day, 4 miles a day, and this measures every single step. It is responsible for me being fit. It is also responsible for this. Just give me a second. Just let me bring this up for a second. Can I share this in the stream and put that full screen? Okay, that's my good friend Jim Ziegler. Jim bought one of the Litra lights that you can actually see down in the carousel and which I'm being lit by now. And I went off then to actually do something. As far as walking is concerned, I enjoy walking. I'm fortunate to live in Devizes in Wiltshire, and we live close to a canal. And that canal is the Kennington Avon, and it runs from Bristol to London. In fact, you can go on the waterway from Bristol to London and you can pass Devizes where I live. Now, the canal was built in the 1800s to take goods from Bristol to London. So in other words, ships would come across the Atlantic, they would dock in Bristol, the goods would be taken off, okay, American goods, especially American cotton, would be taken off, put onto barges, and the barges would go along the canal all the way to London. And it stayed that way until the steam engine came. And the steam engine removed the need for the barges. And the barges stopped as soon as the train started. And the canal went into rack and ruin, in other words, disused canals. And then in the 70s and 80s, it was realised that this was a great resource, and the Kennington Avon Canal was made navigable again from Bristol to London, and you can travel on it today. Now, I go on there and I walk with my Fitbit, okay? And because of that, it meant that I actually have a medal, and this is the medal, okay? This is for completing the Sarsen Trail. Now, the Sarsen Trail is 26 miles, 385 yards of walking from Stonehenge to Avebury. Yes. Now, I've got 7 of these medals. Okay, but it all started with this very simple Fitbit. And when you buy the Fitbit, I'm going to leave the medal there. When you buy the Fitbit, you pay a one-off fee. There is no monthly recurring charge. Everything you do after you've got it is free. What I'm about to show you now is totally free if you buy a Fitbit. And the Fitbit down in the carousel at the moment, he said, trying to put his watch back on. The Fitbit down in the carousel at the moment is the Fitbit Inspire 2 it's $81, which is 19% off. But this is the start of your fitness regime. This is one of the best gifts you could give yourself or a friend or a relative. I'll tell you why. Just let me set something up. I'm in the background and I'm going to go to my account and hopefully it will recognize me. There's always a question when you're live that it's going to stop respecting your passwords. Okay, so hopefully this will work and I shall get straight in. Okay, and I'm in. One of the things that you should know, okay, and I'm going in and I'm trying to get to my dashboard. Okay, and it's working, but it's working slowly. So give me a second, my dashboard. Okay, right, so I didn't know I was going to do this. This show's totally unscripted, but I wanted to, at the end of the show, just do this because this is the action part of it. Once you've bought this, and I'm going to share screen now, then you are part of a totally free system on the Fitbit.com website. And I'm going to go over here, back to here, and put this full screen. This is my dashboard on Fitbit.com, and I'm going to go picture in picture and give you a walkthrough of this. I'm going to go off full screen. I'm going to hide Jim. Thank you, Jim. I'm going to switch the other camera off, and I'm going to go picture in picture that way around. So this is the Fitbit site. Now, first thing to say is that Fitbit is owned by Google. Google bought Fitbit. One of the first major benefits is the community on Fitbit. Now, as a Fitbit owner, you can join the Fitbit community. When you join the Fitbit community, you're joining a group of people from around the globe who are interested in staying fit. You all have the same goal. And you can join a community, and in that community, you can organize challenges. Now, there are two main challenges I take part in: a weekday challenge, Monday through Friday, and a weekend challenge, Saturday and Sunday. And the idea is who's going to do the most steps. And the thing about any fitness regime is that we all lose motivation from time to time. Fitbit provides that motivation. The people who become your friends on Fitbit.com provide that motivation. If I'm taking part in a challenge and I go outside the door and I walk 3 miles, 6,000 steps, somebody on Fitbit will cheer me on. That's where it works. People actually encouraging you to leave the house, go out and walk. And walking is one of the best exercises we can do. So you've got the community challenges. Now, I'm never going to win a challenge, but I'm not going to be bottom. I'm going to come somewhere in the middle. Okay, so that's free. The second thing is, how did you sleep? If you wear your Fitbit, just a minute. If you wear your Fitbit for 4 nights, then Fitbit will monitor your sleep, and it will then give you suggestions as to how you can improve your sleep pattern. It will tell you when you wake up during the night, which is surprising information. It will tell you when you go back to sleep. It will tell you when you're in dream sleep. It will tell you all the different kinds of sleep you have, and it will give you then suggestions as to how you can improve your sleep pattern. That's number 2. The next thing is that it can track the number of steps, the maximum number of steps you've done in a day. And as you can see, the maximum number of steps I've done in one day is 60,000 steps, which is why I've got this medal, because I did the 26 miles, 385 yards, and then some. Sort of a detour, yeah, between Stonehenge and Avebury. Not talk about that. We talk about the fact of actually getting the medal. Okay. The next thing is it will track your weight, and you can record your weight in a weight diary, and you can put your target weight in, and it will monitor how well you're doing. The next thing is the activity. Now you'll notice that I have, on average, I do 45 minutes, at least 45 minutes exercise a day. At the beginning of this year, my partner Angelica's got a Fitbit. It's an Inspire 2 down the carousel. They match. And Angelica suggested that what we should do in 2022 is to try and go for a walk every single day of the year. Okay, all 365 days. You're allowed to have a day off if you're unwell. You're allowed to have a day off if you're busy. If you're busy, the maximum number of days you can have is 15. Now, we are on the 27th of April today. A quick bit of maths adding up, the 117th day of the year, roughly. Don't quote me on that. 117th day of the year. And we have been outside our front door and walked on 109 of those days. In other words, 90% of the days we're active. Yeah. You can set your own targets as well as the group targets, is what I'm saying. Now, next thing on here is that if I go to down the bottom here and I go to see more, you can see I've done some steps this week. Okay, there's my steps this week. But what I'm most interested in is the steps that I do in a year. Okay, and you can see that I have walked 836 miles in a year. What I'm trying to do, quite honestly, I'm trying to get that to doing 1,000 miles a year. That's my personal aim. And I'll do it using the Fitbit Inspire. So that's why I recommend the Fitbit Inspire. I use it every day. I put it on when I get up in the morning. I take it off when I go to bed at night. And it tracks my steps during the day. Once I've bought it, which I have, everything else that I've shown you is totally, totally free. So if you want motivation to stay fit, if you want people to keep you company while you do, if you want to track your weight and do a food diary, if you want to track your water intake, if you want to track your steps, if you want to track your fitness, if you want to track your sleep, it's all included in the Fitbit. And I can't think of better value than you buy the Fitbit, which is today 19% off. Yeah. The Fitbit Inspire 2. Inspire, I think, is the right word. The community behind Fitbit, the people you meet, all of whom want to keep fit, we're not paying anything for this service. This is absolutely brilliant. By the community, for the community. Okay. Right, you've been watching Lights, Camera, Action. And you've been watching Stephen live from Wiltshire in England. It's been my pleasure to be with you today. I'm very grateful for the time that you've taken to watch. I'm glad that you're on Amazon.com. I'm glad that you're watching me. I'm back tomorrow. I'm back on Friday. I'm back next Tuesday. In fact, you'll find me most days on Amazon Live. Thank you to Rome, who joined us earlier. Thank you to everybody who's watched today. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. And I look forward to seeing you again soon on Amazon Live. Goodbye for now. Cheerio.